Pharmacology is a subject that seems to be hard for a lot of people. In this video, I'm breaking down my top 5 tips to help you study pharmacology smarter and not harder. Hey everyone, it's Dr. Jess. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notification bell so you don't miss out on any new uploaded videos. Okay, let's get started. Tip number 1. Learn medications by class, not individually. So instead of learning each drug individually, learn them by drug class. Often, the drugs within the same class have the same mechanism of action, similar side effects, and the same suffix. So, for example, let's take angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors or ACE inhibitors. They have the same suffix. They all end in pril. So, for example, lisinopril, enalapril, ramipril, right? They have the same mechanism of action. They're all ACE inhibitors. They inhibit the conversion of angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2. Similar side effects, example of side effects, a dry cough, they can cause hyperkalemia. So as you can see, instead of trying to remember lisinopril separately, ramipril separately, learn the class. Now, for certain drug classes, you need to learn what makes certain drugs in that class unique, different from the others. So for example, for ACE inhibitors, it doesn't apply, but a good example would be beta blockers. Beta blockers, right? You learn that some of them are selective, some of them are non-selective. So some are selective to beta 1, like metoprolol, for example. Others are beta 1 and beta 2. And then others are beta 1, beta 2, and alpha 1, like carvedilol, for example. So for certain class, once you understand the overall mechanism of action, side effects, suffix for certain class, some of them will be unique. You have to know what makes some of them unique. Tip number 2, understand rather than memorize. Now, let me explain. Now, I'll be the first to tell you that certain things you'll have to memorize, but for a lot of drug classes, if you understand and follow this simple framework, you can predict once you have the mechanism of action, you can predict the effect, the uses, side effects. So let's take an example. Let's take beta blockers, for example. So how do they work? They block beta 1 receptors in the heart. So they inhibit the effect of epinephrine, norepinephrine. What do you get as an effect? Decreased heart rate, decreased blood pressure, decreased cardiac output. Now, what are they used for? Because of the effect, you can see some of the things that they're used for. Decreased blood pressure, decreased heart rate. They can be used for arrhythmia, tachycardia, and others. Now, side effects. Let's take some of the side effects. Let's take bradycardia. Bradycardia is an example of a side effect of beta blockers. Let's think it through. Instead of trying to memorize it, let's think it through, okay? So they are used, they can lower the heart rate, right? So if they can lower the heart rate as their effect, if they work too well, then they can cause bradycardia. Hypotension is a side effect. They can lower blood pressure. If they work too well, then they can cause hypotension. So understanding the mechanism, understanding the chain of logic help you to retain the information better. So that way you're studying smarter and not harder. Tip number 3, focus on unique side effects. So for most, if not all medications are going to have some side effects, but for certain medications, they have unique side effects. And most specifically on an exam, you'll most likely be tested on those unique side effects. And some of those side effects, sometimes you can't reason through them, you just have to know them. So I put some example on here, but there are so many others. So phenytoin can cause gingival hyperplasia, vancomycin and Redmond syndrome, clozapine and granulocytosis. So some of these unique side effects, focus on them because it's very likely that you might be tested on them on an exam. Tip number 4. Flashcards are not the answer. I know. This is very unpopular, okay? But hear me out. Many students over rely on flashcards. They think that just adding simple facts on a flashcard is enough. But the real benefit comes when you understand the concept first. Then you can determine what's worth to put on a flashcard, and you can use flashcards to reinforce active recall. Now, imagine sitting on an exam, you're trying to remember the exact word you had on the flashcard. You're thinking and thinking, you're stuck, you're stressed, and nothing comes to mind. Now, why? That's probably because you didn't fully understand the material. Now, this doesn't always apply, right? So, for example, some of those unique side effects, those like you might just have to remember them. But in a lot of cases, if you understand the material, you could often reason your way. You could often use reasoning to deduce the right answer. So, yes, you can use flashcards, but be strategic how you use them. Last tip, teach it to someone else. One of the best ways to really understand something is to teach it to someone else. The reason for that is because when you're explaining concepts out loud, it forces active recall and deep understanding. So when you teaching, it highlights it might highlight certain gaps in your knowledge that you might not have noticed otherwise. So verbalizing the mechanisms, the side effects, and and reasoning reinforce memory. So definitely try that, teach it to someone else, and then that's when you know for sure that you've truly mastered it. All right, those were my top 5 pharmacology study tips. Let me know in the comments which tip resonated with you the most. And if you're still here, definitely subscribe to my channel for more study tips, pharmacology, and dosage calculation content. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.